welcome to another coaching video, and in this one we have a Platinum EVELYNN versus a Platinum Lee Sin, and it's gonna be a rough ride in this game, I think. Looked at the KD, looked at the gold graph, saw some interesting things, and thought we can learn stuff from this, especially if you want to take the next step into Diamond, and you happen to play against, I don't know, a roaming mid laner, like a Katarina or a LeBlanc, or you happen to be an invader, like a Lee Sin could be, and you just want to be an EVELYNN, farm, scale, and then assassinate ADCs. How do we navigate this? How do we deal with it? All coming up. Now, we do have here a Samira Leona versus a Jhin Rakan. Now, fortunately, in this case, the Samira has a melee support, so she'll be very happy about that. Now, in this particular regard, always, if your bottom lane wants to cheese like this and you kind of want to go leashless, I don't like the red solo start. I think we should go Raptor solo start still, because you can still go to Krugs, red, and then kind of decide afterwards, you know, do I need to react to this? Do I need to keep going? What I am worried about is the Lee Sin starting here, doing this ganking bottom lane, like this loop, okay? Or invading me on the blue. And what you will note is we didn't place a ward level 1. So if you're a Platinum jungler, and for some reason you're playing a farming jungler and you don't ward this level 1 at like 108 and then walk on up to the Raptors to start there, what are you doing? Because we really do need that protection against Lee Sins, against invaders. Virkayu.gg's comprehensive courses will give you all of the up-to-date information you need to climb on your MMR. This is all in addition to our powerful one-on-one coaching and access to the coaching VOD library. And for those of you who want to escape the elo that you're in, because obviously, let's face it, you want the next step, the Jungle Improvement PDF has been released on my site for absolute free. 37 pages of jungle terminology, exercises, and tips to help you carry, win, and climb, take your potential and convert it into reality. Now, you're watching the bottom lane here, you're seeing them getting low, but they're pushed in. Do we have the kit to do something? No. We look at the mid lane here, we see the LeBlanc and the Katarina going chunkings. So what could we have done, even as a farming jungler that I've been talking about a lot on this channel? Cut your clear short, make the play, make the proactive play, because what is Lee Sin doing? Let's have a look. See, we don't know what Lee Sin's doing exactly. I mean, just that. Yeah, he's doing a 5 camp. Yeah, so that's totally what a Lee Sin is doing. In 2023, he's doing a 5 camp going up towards a KO lane where there's a low Scion who for some reason isn't thinking about this, because obviously we know he's on the bot side. We should anticipate this sort of play. He does hit it. Do we have enough damage to kill? We do not. He actually was way too hesitant, way too afraid, but like he's super low. Anyway, I mean, this is what I'm talking about here. This is what I'm talking about here. You leave your jungle half HP. Whatever your clear is, it doesn't matter. We did the Jarvan versus whoever that was, Silver coaching the other day, Lee Sin, and they both come out of the jungle half HP. What are you hoping to accomplish when you're half HP? You just don't have the same ability to make these aggressive plays. And EVELYNN obviously now gets away with this. Look how low she's getting. We didn't put 2 points into Q. This is an EVELYNN main. So when you're full clearing as EVELYNN, put 2 points into Q. If you want to catch a clear short and make sure you get that level 3 gank mid lane, especially against a Katarina or with a Katarina and a LeBlanc, then you can use the W, sure. But if you plan a full clearing and you've protected yourself here, then we're fine. So now what we're doing is we're going on a little adventure. See, this is my problem with this. We didn't use this first ward here to protect against potential invades. Now we're using the second one, obviously with the enhanced cooldown in this patch, and the deep invade. We've just wasted a charge and not gotten any value out of it. I don't like that. I think we should always get value. However, because Jhin and Rakan are pushing, we have an all-in lane in the Samira and the Leona, we are like, yes, we shall go forth, we shall make plays, off we go. We're taking the long way around. Unfortunately, they go in too soon, but now, of course, why would we go onto the Yin? We don't have the damage to kill him. Focus the Rakan instead of the Jhin. Just kill the support. There we go. We're lucky we got that, but good charm nonetheless. But my entire focus here is I don't have the damage with Electrocute, with the wave coming to kill the Jhin. I'm going straight for the Rakan, no questions, because he's the one that's mobile. The Zenith Blade misses. We are going to force a flash, that's fine. Perfect. We'll take that. That's fine. Now, Lee Sin, on the other hand, did a 5 camp, shows top lane, gets nothing. So what do champions do in this situation? You go back to base, you buy something that is not quite what you wanted to buy because you're disappointed in yourself, your team is disappointed in you, and you go back in the field. Lee Sin shows bottom lane, 24. So 5 camps plus top scuttle, 24. We know that. EVELYNN says, all right, going to the Krugs. No way, not again. Okay, win wall. Wait. Yes, you can do it, sir. You can do it. I mean, you know, it's the really mechanical good players who have terrible macro, it can get to Diamond just because they can make those kinds of plays really fluidly, snappy, get the kills that they shouldn't get, and then move on with their lives. Others need a bit more macro. Lee Sin, this player is one that will need a bit more macro. So what we do out of base is we see the Lee Sin do that sacrifice himself. We see a level 4 KL. We don't have flash anymore. Does she have sums? Does she have speed up? Yes, she does. Can we hit the max range Q onto the charm? We're going to try and do it. It doesn't quite get there. I think obviously in this case having a scanner is good because we could see, look, there's no scanner actually. So this is fascinating because if you see this, look at where she comes out. This is the ganking technique. This is basic ganking technique. If it's warded here, then yes, I will just cut and go because I know it's warded. I know I don't have time. I need to try and get the angle because if she doesn't see me for a microsecond, you get the charm off, you get the angle, you get the stun, you get the kill, right? The problem is, if it isn't warded, you can go for a longer angle of approach, wide berth, and then cut and direct, which means you don't have to chase her because now she can run away and then you have to chase her, right? So you're creating you're keeping the space and you'll never reach it. But if it isn't warded, we can go nice and tight, right? Like that, and then hook up, and now she won't see us, and now there's nowhere for her to go. She speeds up, it doesn't matter. It's a guaranteed hit, a guaranteed kill, it's free. That's why I want the scanner on the first base, because I need to know. If it isn't warded, I'm gonna take the wide angle of approach. If it is warded here, doesn't matter, it's too late, I can cut in. More success probability. If it is warded, then yes, I have to cut here. And you know what? Most likely at this elo, you'll start to see people react to it, which means, hey, just clear the ward, take the experience, go down to the Raptors, and then obviously now you're seen. LeBlanc sees you, she's shoving, all right? Lee Sin died again, he's not the issue, but the LeBlanc is the issue. So the Fed LeBlanc, not a Fed LeBlanc, but potential roaming mid laners like a Noah Kian and a Talon will see this, know you're going down here because they're tracking jungle CS. They'll say, aha, Evelynn did a full clear, she showed bottom lane 28, right? Full clear plus crab. Didn't get anything, or got the kill, but didn't get any out of the CS or minions. Goes back to base, shows top lane, which means I know she did Krugs. She shows here she's definitely going to this afterwards. End of story. A mid laner who can track that, you're great. I love you. You're beautiful. Junglers who aren't tracking that, you should be. All right, you absolutely should be. Now, the bottom lane here, Samira is using the lead we gave them through that gank to go ahead and fist the bottom lane and win that. So the Evelynn here should be on the Raptors, as we know. Now, LeBlanc, if she has a ward up, right, should go ahead and ward this straight up. If she has an availability on her ward, she should definitely ward this Raptor pit. Obviously, if she has it, right? If she doesn't, there's nothing she can do, but that's how you can help your jungler track. That's how you can really take over games as a mid laner, just by using that. Now, obviously here, the Lee Sin's basically going to say, well, that's not the best game in the world. I better do a dragon and get some catch-up experience. Yes, some juicy stuff. Not the kill catch-up experience. No, the kill catch-up experience is being nerfed next patch, thank goodness. Now we're not quite close to 6. We're not going to get 6 from Krugs, but sorry, from Grump. But from Grump, Scuttle, we will get 6. So here, once the dragon is dead, we're going to have a cheeky little look to see if Katarina can get some kills. The Ignite tick should do it. It does. We'll take this. That's fine. Outside and rule snacking that baby. It is warded here. Look at this fight. Look at this fight. Look at this fight. Can we get in on this action? Can we get something? Let us, please. Bot lane. Bot lane. Please let your jungler get an assist or something. Especially carry junglers. We loves it. We comes to help. We would like some. I don't even need the kill. Just give me the assist. Like, I use my charm on the guy. Let me get some action. Right? And it's Evelynn, so... yeah, nice though, I like it. Relaxed, gank bottom lane, another gank bottom lane. Good sequencing, cuts in to take this because we see the dragon take it, so we know this is up on the map. I want to take that. We get some more kills from this Grump, we should get 6, we'll ding it. Boom! And now we can maybe leverage that into a mid lane gank. Let's find out if we do so. Okay. Dark Seal, Gus Walker. Alright, but it's a cannon wave, and Katarina's 5, she's not yet 6, she's really... 7-17, she's super behind. We don't have 6 in the Katarina. We're going to try and charm LeBlanc, who probably has double distortion available. So she uses 1 distortion, fortunately. Then she uses the second one, and now we can't gap close because we have nothing. Oh, the mind games. See? And that's why these kinds of ganks right here, just to rewind, I don't like them too much unless we can have stacked CC on the LeBlanc, you know? And then that's the issue. She moves this direction and comes back. If she went this way and kept going this way, I'd be worried that Lee Sin was doing some sort of shenanigans on the top side. We obviously have this lane as lane going on as well. Now, importantly, about the Lee Sin, we've got potential residual silver tracking issues here. The Lee Sin dies on the dragon after taking it, doesn't take his red, all right? So we know we didn't take the red. The Katarina was there. He didn't have a buff on him. The Katarina doesn't get a free buff, so we know it's up. Does he decide to go to the red into the Krugs and gank bottom lane? Or does he decide to go to the Krugs and the red and come to the top side? Or does he just decide to go to the top side where there's all the stuff that's going to be happening? His Grump, his Wolves, his Blue, top lane ganks, Evelynn invades, Evelynn's red is available, Krugs are available, like everything's top side plus objective spawning shortly. We don't know where he's going to show, but in my mind, I would think, okay, look, If it's a lower elo tendency jungler, he probably just goes for red blindly without thinking about which side of the map he's going to be on. And you know what? Also, just to note this, sorry to pause again, but look at bottom lane. 4-1-1, 0-0-4, that's a losing lane. And now Lee Sin could try and offset that, but you know, it's a Samira, Leona, 8 minutes, they're close to level 6. Your bottom lane should be behind on that tempo, so if you go there and they all get 6, that's a 3v2 skill issue a little bit. Samira and Leona could easily take that. That's a huge lead that they have. I don't know if I'd want to execute my gank there on the bottom side, spend time there potentially dying as well and snowballing the enemy bot lane again, and then EVELYNN gets free blue side, and then EVELYNN gets free Herald. So I'm giving her freebies. Pros and cons of both direction, right? If you're strong enough as a jungler and you think you can shut down that Samira and Leona, go for it. Go for it. You can do it, right? But obviously, I mean, we did see him briefly there, I think, as well on the minimap. Just caught my eye. So, you know, we see him down here, like, wasting this time, so we just go for this. But now LeBlanc is getting in the face of the EVELYNN, and this is the stuff I hate. This is why I don't start this up in these situations. It's better just to take camps or just to loop around, you know, like, don't coin flip these scenarios if your mid lane has gone to the mid lane. And again, like, the Katarina should just be here. We should just be winning this and taking this for free. We will have Smite at 600 because we don't have the activated treats just yet. Brilliant. Okay, so the Lee Sin decides to go to the bottom lane here and actually does get the kills. So this is nicely done. This is nicely done, and this is so platinum. He actually just wastes so much time for this, but the investment does pay off. And you know, like I said, that's why I said I'm not always on board with this kind of time invest, but the LeBlanc does the work to kind of create it and make it worth it. The EVELYNN kind of decides at this point that she's going to flash and spot. I don't know why. You just straight up are not on the right side of the Herald. You know, like, you could very easily have snacked that Herald. But it is what it is. Platinum. This is why most people are platinum. They're stuck there because they're mental. Anyway, so we cross the mid lane. Yeah, the Rakan is missing. He shows up here. We missed the Q. Those moments of tilt, you should not lose the Herald with 600 smite. You know, but you also shouldn't give her the free eyeball. You know, you should position yourself in a way that you can hit the eyeball smite combo. And there should be no reason for you to give that up. Rakan rotates here, kills the Katarina, 1-2-0. Out of position, typical platinum things, but we're still tied. Still 7-7, still 16k, 16k. You know, the Lee Sin got the shutdown on the bottom side, and you know what he does? He says, I'm done with this farming stuff. I'm just going straight down to the bottom lane again. I'm going to keep the pressure up here. We got the shutdown, so I'm going back here. They're going to dive because Rakan's mid lane. Rakan will rotate down. I'm going straight here. Screw this top side. I don't care about this top side. And that's the shift, the story of the game. The EVELYNN had path in control. The EVELYNN had sequencing control. The Lee Sin was doing random things and dying. Now the EVELYNN loses the Herald and is wasting her time ganking a highly mobile target with no lockdown CC on her laners. Right? She's going in for this, but the LeBlanc can reverse kill her so quickly. We get the clone out, but like, this is a waste of time. The Lee Sin has realized he's not going to win this game if he tries to match the EVELYNN sequencing, if he tries to go top lane, if he tries to go mid lane. He knows, okay, look, now he can go mid lane, but he knows he can get fed and juiced from the bottom lane. He invested so much time to position himself to kill the bottom lane, right? I mean, if there was ever a platinum game, guys, this is it. This is what it looks like. Chaos, randomness, ego, overcommitments, not really knowing their champions or the enemy champions. You're greeting for things, not thinking about their power thing, just trying to ego mechanical stuff. Ego mechanic stuff. Whatever the phrase might be in that sentence, you know what I mean, right? They're using the mechanics fused with their ego to try and make plays they can't actually make. I'll quote Casey Stoner when he was talking about Valentino Rossi and the Ducati days, unfortunately for those of us who watch motorbikes and MotoGP. Casey Stoner didn't have the longest career, but he was truly great. He said his ambition outweighed his talent, which is odd to say to one of the greatest riders of all time. However, in this case, both junglers and most junglers in Platinum, their ambition outweighs their talent, and I think it's such a good saying for them. Except the Lee Sin, what I love about this is he has just decided, you know what? CS is for idiots. Bottom lanes, you know, where I'm going. And the EVELYNN's, this is nice though. Okay, this is nice. Okay, the Q misses. I mean, honestly, it's just, what am I watching sometimes? But again, I like from the EVELYNN this motion, right? The Lee Sin overcommits and dies like an idiot. We move out of base. We see the fight. We go straight for the fight. We kill him, okay? So we're still in the game. We're 3-1-1. He's 5-4-4. We're up only 3 CS, and that's my problem. The Lee Sin is inherently not sequencing. So what were we doing outside of a 3-1-1? that allowed him to keep the CS that close, because it should not be. With 4 deaths to 1, how is he only down 3 CS? And I don't care about the minions that he takes in lane after the ganks. I don't care about that. Why is it even happening? Especially considering we had all of this time while he was investing in the bottom lane. You see, he was in the bottom lane setting up for a gank that he had to make work. It had to work. If it didn't work, Samira runs the other way. He had to make sure it goes well. EVELYNN wasted her time chasing a LeBlanc, ganking a LeBlanc, and not just sequencing her topside, taking the heralds, counter jungling. She didn't have to force the gank. Now I know we want to use our ult. We definitely do. But is LeBlanc the one we want to do it on? No. Who is free food? Kale. Who is free food? Jhin. Is LeBlanc the one in this game that's easy for you to chain CC and kill? No. Really no. So stop it. Stop wasting time doing that. She picked the wrong lane to rotate over, lost CS, lost time, lost the herald, lost the cash money gold from the plates. You know? She's able to get kills now from the bottom lane. Look how easy it is when you go to the right place. But the problem is that LeBlanc is now ahead of the Katarina, and did Lee Sin find... He finally went topside again. Yes, I'm here. Hello, Camps. Did you miss me? Hello, level 6 second Swarm Blue Camp at 13 minutes 30. Hello, level 5 Grump that I haven't done since the first clear. This should be counter jungled by the EVELYNN. Even if he gets a higher spawn camp now, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter because we still got that experience, right? It didn't just sit on the map. And every time we get that +4, +8, +12, it's good for us. And then the next patch, when you don't get the catch-up experience from the kills, it's going to be huge for you to use that as your power position. And if we just want to run around and gank as much as the Lee Sin, we're going to be in the same position as the Lee Sin. And yeah, very fascinating, actually, that's how it transpired. Really interesting. Now the Lee Sin goes to the top quadrant, loops back down to the mid lane, goes in on the Katarina, kicks the EVELYNN back into the Doom train, has to rock above position. We don't have ultimate, which means we're most likely going to die here. The Chains of Destiny do hit. The Q hits. Will he snack the kill for himself? No, he's a generous jungler. Gives it to the LeBlanc and says, yes, I mean, can you miss more Qs? Then again, it's okay. You miss 100% of the Qs, you don't take. And in Platinum, they take a lot of Qs, so... flash out from the, why are you diving? But again, this is normal stuff. This is absolutely normal things that happen in these games. Lee Sin, what a generous soul. Is this SOFM, right? Build Knight's Vow next, please. Build Knight's Vow. Do it for us. I hope he doesn't. But this lane was hard winning. EVELYNN decided to try and take her lead into another lane, but the wrong lane. She tried to snowball the Katarina. I don't care if you duo. Screw her, right? Doesn't matter. Kill the Kale. Look, you ganked your top lane at once. You could have had a better gank here. Should have had a better gank here. We could have killed her a few times. Lane ganks. Just 3 kills. Ult down, flash down, kill the Kale. Camp the bottom lane. Snowball this even further. Is that an eyeball? That's a flower. Jesus, it looked like an eyeball. So, you know, the EVELYNN just didn't snowball the lane that she had available to snowball. And in Platinum, it's the biggest thing. You focus so much on your own juice, you don't focus on the laners that really can get you the win. There's always someone on the team that you can 2v8 with. The Lee Sin has not played perfectly, but he realized what matter is, and has decided to feed the LeBlanc, and the LeBlanc will carry with him 2v8. And he, of course, got his bottom lane back into it, beating the lower, beating the winning lane of the red team. Now we're doing EVELYNN things, just walking around, like we stopped sequencing, we're not really looking for food, you know, like we're just walking around, we're level 9, we're the same level as the Lee Sin, like we stopped the stuff that was giving us the advantage. And so I want you to use your sequencing, keep using your sequencing advantage as much as you can. Okay, because now Lee Sin most likely either collapses on here and kills you, or goes to the bottom lane, and we see him go actually here. So this is an interesting ward. We see that now, so we know he's coming up here. Can we finish it in time? It would not have surprised me if he just flanks and kills them too, because they'll overcommit past vision line, but they actually don't. They pull back. Wow, amazing. LeBlanc is roaming. We're on the Herald. Does Lee Sin sniff something afoot? Let's see. Maybe he doesn't. We'll get camo, go close to the wall. We can go to this and this. But yeah, you know, I looked at the KDAs at the end screen on the post-game stats, and the CSPM concern was like, what happened? Did she get invaded by the LeBlanc and the Lee Sin? And she just did not. And that for me is absolutely fascinating. She's down a level now. She's absolutely down a level. Incredible. Because she just stopped sequencing. And the Lee Sin said, I've done my work. I spam ganked, and now I can take a few camps. I'll catch up. Cool. Thumbs up. And he's up like 14 CS. I mean, he's up basically 3.5 camps. It's crazy. Now she feels like she needs leads or experience, and she's not in a position to take anything. Now she goes topside. Now our team are getting caught out because they're ready to move. They took this turret in the mid tower, took in the mid lane. Okay, let me phrase that better. They took all tier 1 turrets, so they were looking to move the pieces around and make stuff happen. But the rest of the blue team, like, let's collapse and do stuff. The EVELYNN's like, well, I better go topside and take my camps. He's about to be down 2 levels on this Lee Sin. And I'll give him credit again. the bottom lane gank was definitely a riskier play. Like, we know that, Flash from the LeBlanc. We know that it was riskier because it took a time invest and an uncertainty of success. But he knew that if he did that, he would shut down the win con that was currently winning, and it would force the EVELYNN into a rough situation. And of course, the EVELYNN threw away that time by not doing something equal and opposite, or equal and opposite and greater. And it's really cost her. And now she's just not keeping up with the farming tempo at all. She's just looking for picks. You have to keep up the mid game. Now, in the course that I've just released, as I said, that's a classic, though. That's a classic. We all like to see a bit of that. And of course, now you can just kind of walk away, run away, chill in a bush somewhere. Maybe you can kill the Jhin. The idea here is that we can just kill people. Like, we're level 12, right? You want to be level 12 at this point? Where are you going? You used your W too soon, which gave away your position, which means that Leona couldn't hit the Zenith Blade. Instead of just waiting for the Zenith Blade to hit and then layering it on top of each other, Lisa moves for the Giga save, gets a level 11, gets a Hex Drinker proc, nice atomization from the Sin. He does die for it though, but he thought about his ADC's life, which is more than any other jungler does in the world. Don't worry, that's a glitch, that was a flash. Gotta love the replay glitches lasting for about 12 months. And now the whole team is here. Samira's in a bit of a choke point, does kill everyone. Almost, is LeBlanc. Cool for a second maybe, but yeah. So, yeah, we've lost our mid-game control completely. Absolutely, completely. Really sad to see junglers have such good beginnings and then just lose that advantage, you know? But good job to the Lee Sin, I really do. I was impressed with how he clawed this back. It was quite a scuffy game to begin with, but he clawed it back. And now the red team does still have position, right? They still have the gold lead. Like, we're talking about this like it's doomed, but we still have the gold lead. But they're just not pushing together, and the enemy has a good team fight, and Jhin has range. And LeBlanc has Assassin no potential, which means she can get in there. Nice kill by the Katarina, obviously. The Samira goes in and kills the Rakan as well. The Lee Sin's going over the wall here. Hex Drinker gets a kill on the Katarina. Nicely done. The Kale's going to show up here level 13 at this point. Evelyn's going to ult and it's going to basically do nothing. Kale just cleans up. And that's it. The Kale is starting to scale. And this is the kind of stuff we want to avoid, right? How do we avoid it? Well, shut her down harder. Don't just show up one time and be like, okay, that's it for me. Don't waste time on LeBlanc. Kill bottom lane, snowball bottom lane, kill top lane, snub bottom lane, kill top lane, snub bottom lane, use that for dragons, use it for heralds. Don't allow them to get away with it. Now, of course, we'll channel this and chill. We have the smite. He misses the roots. And Sion says, I snacked that one from you. I really don't want... I snacked that one from you. It was meant to be some sort of accent, but I don't know what accent it came out as. Kind of like a weird Irish accent, right? A little bit. I don't want to see ADA Scions on anyone except for the boss. The rest of you just go tank, be beasts. Be a tank, better. You can peel, you can engage. I played with a Scion top lane last night. 2-3 games randomly, not duo, just randomly got him. What a beast. Like, he won his lane, he rotated perfectly with ults, his TPs were on point. It was just such Chad-like behavior that cannot be replicated in the AD form. Because he could just frontline and absorb, and he just did it perfectly. It was lovely to watch. He doesn't always have the win con, but he had the win con, you know what I mean? So it's... AD Scions always want to be the hero for the split push, but you're not going to be as useful to your team in this elo. It's better just to use proper teamfighting, because teamfighting mechanics is going to start to turn online here. Leona out of position, we make the pick. Katarina's bottom lane, no TP, so we can make one pick, and then we go for the next pick. Now we chase down, front to back. Enemy team has to disengage and run away. Don't overcommit to be too far away from your team. EVELYNN ults, again, hits nothing. Lacks damage because she stopped her own econ and income, and then, of course, dies. Kale shows up. Katarina's bottom lane, no reason for it to be bottom lane whatsoever, but there's a red team, you have to understand. She's bottom lane. I shouldn't be bottom lane. Why am I bottom lane? Who is bottom lane? And then, you know, Katarina says, I'll do you one better. Why is bottom lane? Not the exact quotation, but we can call that paraphrasing. Hey, I mean, I'll take that, so terrible. I'd like to not lose that, though, and honestly, if they go for this while she's bottom lane and we have the plant here and I can do the same thing, flash, ult, smite, and steal it, I've done that. We've all done that at some point, I'm sure. Where you have a split pusher here who should be with you, they go for the Baron, you just go for the wall, you steal it, you're like, happy split pushing, happy trails, and then they just get an inhib in there, and the blue team are just like, well, that's depressing. Because you shouldn't have coin flipped it anyway. Especially against Echoes, Evelyns, things like this. So, what are we doing here? Out of base, I just cannot believe the EVELYNN became so jagged in her game style. So if this player plays like this consistently, looking at the win rates and CSPMs, it could be, this is a consistent representation. All looks like this. You're either going to coin flip the PvP aspect and just dominate, right? Or you're just going to be left behind where the enemy jungler is able to basically use your non-committal to anything while he commits to something. The Evelynn just didn't commit to a cause, tried to do everything, and then doing so did nothing. And the Lee Sin was able to do a lot. We are going in on a Rakan frontline facing with a Death Cap Rocket Belt. Our damage doesn't exist, and Katarina does show up. We're able to kill the Lee Sin, fortunately, which is at least good, and of course the Rakan dies. So I'm not a fan of us being the engaged frontliner there as the Evelynn. I would prefer my Sion to be the person who does that, but sometimes you've got to do what you got to do. At least we got the kills, but I'm still not a fan of it. Like, I would have preferred more of a flanking angle, just to guarantee like an ace, because if you can get the ace here plus the dragon and shove and deal with her 4v1, then it's better, right? So I don't like running into a Rakan who can just charm out. Even if we get the kill, our ult doesn't do anything. Like, we want to make sure that ult is maximized in terms of damage profile. But it did work out. Katarina rotated, Samira got a kill, that's fine. We'll take it. We will take it. Katarina goes mid lane. We see the Cal getting killed top lane on the minimap. We didn't need to watch it because it was violent. Rakan spawns and shows up here. Why? Don't leave. Everyone's going for the red buff invade here. Let's see. Hello, Lee Sin, level 13 to level 13. 3 CS up, more KP. They do go in, actually. I clicked too late. I was looking at this. They do actually go in. So let's see. We have a 1v1 jungle matchup here. Well, Samira does die, but Sion does show up. So maybe it's my fault. Maybe the AD Sion was the play. Nah, it wasn't. It's better to play tank. You can peel, you can do so much. You can do the same thing. But I get it. I get it, don't worry. Problem with Evelynn is, you know, when they have a Baron like this and you want to siege, you're kind of useless. I mean, unless you want to go all in like that. That was not quite the self-made versus double lift moment. Let's put it that way. We could have maybe killed him. I would only really want to flash like that if he has no flash, though, because I feel like that's such an important thing. Either way, not bad. We'll take it. You know, we'll take it. The Kale's 16, though. The Kale is 16. Okay, leave, run away, Monty Python, leave. At least it's just like, I don't care, I'm not gonna go in. Guys, disengage a little bit. Reset. You've got some gold. 1700 on Katarina. There's a dragon up. You know, like they've all been spent now. Was this just gonna be skirmishing nonsense? Is the Sion just gonna keep split pushing? Can we do the dragon? Don't want to do the dragon? I mean, it is Soul. The thing is now, we discussed this before. Do we do the dragon and get Soul? Okay, Soul, or and risk the Elder fight, or do we just leave it on the map and give them one of these free dragons just to delay the Elder fight? These are the questions. These are the questions. It's a bit messy. When the ADC splitting over here, you know, she's being collapsed on. LeBlanc says, thank you for the free kill. Samir says, no, call the ambulance for yourself. Okay, or you know, the mortuary. And then the Kale shows up in the mid lane split pushing. It's really just a bit of chaos. And this is why, for me, it's so important in Platinum. If you just have such a good game plan, you can avoid this nonsense. Because now it's almost like silver in different colors at some point. Silver with better mechanics. And sometimes you have better macro, but it really does come down to a lot of just people trying to test their leads a lot. Either way, I'm not happy with the Evelynn being 5-4-7, low KP, low farm. What we're talking about here is the rest of her team doing all the work. She is not doing anything here. I'm kind of curious as to how this game develops now. Let's speedrun this. If we see the Jhin on the bottom side, this should be free kills because we know he has no flash. He is too fast for us. I mean, at this point, the Lee Sin shows up. We reposition for some reason right in front of him. We are able to use that for an inhib. Jhin's a tough cookie, which is why you want to make sure you're hitting that full charm and you have a lot of damage. She just doesn't have the damage profile to kill him before he mobiles away. He speed rush zooms away. Take their camps. Typical stuff, yes. She just doesn't have any econ, right? Like, she just doesn't have, she's 9.5. The Lee Sin's 3,000 gold ahead of her. 3,000 gold because he's in the fights, because he sequenced better, because he actually thought about adjusting his game plan, and she just didn't, and I cannot stress that enough. Actively adapting what's going on in the game with what you wanted to do. And she just porridged it. Of course, now everyone is like, right, this is typical. Hey, look, Leon is in the middle lane for no particular reason. Why are you there? Nothing we can do about it. Nothing we can do about it. Oh, the dragon wasn't even up. I'm griefing. The map was griefing me. But it is worth thinking about. It is worth thinking about. The replay kind of trolled me a little bit. Okay, we show up here. Sion is here. Can Sion do the work for us? We have the Kayle very, very low with no ult, which is kind of nervous for her if you're against an Evelynn. Evelynn's cutting through the jungle here where she will be detected. We'll get that kill out. That's easy. Which means we should be able to get the soul point. Sion dies because he's squishy, because he's not a tank. Fights after fights after fights. So in the silver course, I'm actually going to use that team fighting section and put it in the other courses as well, because it's not really about 4 silvers, it was for everyone, but it's such an inherent, like, talking about picks and team fighting and chasing and all of this stuff. I can spend an hour on it in the course. Literally just an hour talking about team fights and using these kinds of environments. It's crazy. So we do take this. Then we have a fight here in the mid lane where we get another pick. The Sion shows up, hits the pillar of what was once a tower. And for some reason, we're just busting down the mid lane. Guys, take the top inhib. There is no educational value in these things. This is what we call brain skill. Hey, there's 4 and I'm 5 and I don't have a wave. I'm not going to go in and position myself in a way to go in. I'm just going to be taking the top inhib and falling back using the double inhib down to take a Baron once my Leona spawns. Instead, we have a commit. We get committed on. If we are in a position to be kicked, your fault. Everyone's dead. Honestly. Skip forward again. Kael's now split pushing, she kills the Sion. We're all going to chase down the Sion most likely. Sorry, the Kael. Yeah, so everyone shows up to kill the Kael. Yeah, so, you know, closing thoughts over this game, which has just evolved into an absolute fiesta mode, where I don't really have anything to tell you other than, if your games end up like this, it's because you're giving up way too much early. You're team fighting over nothing. You're being picked for no reason. You're over chasing for no reason. This is basically what you could easily call a silver game in terms of what I'm watching. And the best way to avoid these scenarios is 1, be fed enough in the mid game such that when it does happen, you just auto win them. 2, don't overcommit and overchase. And 3, master your team fighting so that you can really understand how to do all of the winnings in these scenarios. So, Sion TP's in and of course gets turrets but then dies. The Samira shows up. She's going to try and win this game by hitting the Nexus and the inhib. EVELYNN shows up having done literally nothing for the entire last 20 minutes. Okay, what else can we say here? Probably should have pushed this up. Just keep pushing the waves a little bit, but you can't because our whole team is available. Waiting for the Sion to respawn 16 minutes. Are we just going to try and backdoor? We don't have Lich Bane, so we don't have as much hits as we think. In terms of power, they have the Baron as well. They're going to collapse down here. Elder Dragon is spawning, so this is what I was talking about. But instead, for some reason, Samira's out of position, being caught out again. And for some reason, EVELYNN and everyone's just in the bottom lane. Leona's in the bottom lane. Everyone's out of position. Sion goes in here because he's full AD, just gets rinsed. Lee Sin does the gamings. We're now getting slowed and killed because we can't do anything versus that Kael, and that'll do it. I wish I had not seen this the last 10 minutes. Honestly, this is one of those sessions where there's just so little value, and then they win. Okay, well, hopefully you take all of the positives that we mentioned from the Lee Sin and the EVELYNN in the early game. The mid and the late game, really, not a lot of cool things happening here. Honestly, the EVELYNN just shut her brain off, stopped participating, stopped sequencing, stopped rotating to kills. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and comment what you thought of this particular game. Hopefully there was a lot to learn in the early game, and as always, I'll see you all in the next coaching.